Yo guys, today I'm doing a track guide around Imola and the Mercedes-AMG GT3 for the new LFM week, and I hope this video is going to help you, so please leave a like and subscribe. Also, you can try the setups down below in the description. This would really help me and it will also help you, so yeah, try it out, and now let's get into it. So we are now on the start finishing line and on the straight of Imola. For turn 2, brake between the 100 meter board and the asphalt on the right. Also good reference is the brighter spot on the grass. Go with the car to the right side on that curb and get into third gear. After the braking, go over the sausage curb. For some cars you can just barely touch that curb, like in the Ferrari, and in some cars it's important to go with the whole car over the curb, like for example in the Mercedes. After going over the sausage curb, try to position the car on the middle of the track for turn 3. Onto turn 3, there's a really aggressive transition to the right, so you really have to force the car into that. Then avoid using too much of that sausage curb, as you might end up touching the curb with the front of the car and you will just go straight. In the Merc you can really cut a lot, but in most cars I wouldn't cut that much, because you will otherwise just go straight and won't get the next corner, so just slightly touch it. For turn 4 you can go over the sausage curb. In some cars it's possible, and in some cars it isn't, like for example in the Ferrari. Also have in mind, cutting the curb too much results in a track warning, so just touch it a little bit or stay on the safe side, and just don't cut too much, and then run wide onto the curb, but avoid touching the gravel, as you will lose a lot of time on the straight. For turn 5, brake at the 50 meter board and throw the car into the corner. Get down into third gear and try to touch that sausage curb and stay on the left side, as you want to prepare good entry on turn 6. Get into second gear, that's my personal preference. Some people also stay in third gear and don't want to use that much engine brake, but I quite like it. Then in the Merc you can go over the sausage curb, but in some cars you can't, so you have to drive around the sausage curb. Apply a bit of throttle and just be patient, because if you go too early on the throttle you will end up in the gravel and you will lose a ton of time, so be careful not to run too wide. For turn 7, brake when the asphalt on the right side ends, and really try brake into that corner. Get into second gear and turn in early, as there's a lot of grip. The apex should be a quite late apex. Also try to avoid touching that curb, as it's really slippery. And then go early on the throttle and use all the curb on the outside, but be careful not to run too wide, as it goes quite deep down, so have that in mind. For turn 9, brake at the brighter spot on the grass on the right side and then downshift into third gear. Your reference for the apex is where the dark spot is on the curb, and also avoid touching that sausage curb there. Then carefully go on the throttle, because you will easily have wheel spin also in this corner, and also run wide easily. You will get a track warning if you don't stay on the Italian flag on the left side of your car. So we are now coming to the famous Aqua Minerale, or how you speak it in Italian, I don't know, I'm not an Italian. But on this corner you have to be really confident at the entry. You have to throw it in like crazy. So in some cars you have to brake at the 50 meter board and immediately go on the throttle. Or also a reference is not the 50 meter board, it's when the curb ends. In the Merc you can actually just lift and stay a bit on the throttle while going into that corner. Then get into fourth gear, in some cars is third gear. Go over that curb. In the Merc you can also cut a bit the sausage curb and brake after that curb when the car compresses itself, and get into third gear and run wide on that outside curb, but be careful not to run too wide, as when you brake the front gets down and maybe it touches that curb, and then you will also end up going completely straight and miss the apex of the next corner. So yeah, just try to be careful and not run too wide. Downshift into second gear and trail brake into that corner, but have a good apex speed. The apex is before that curb actually, it even starts before that, and you really have to have a good exit, so it's quite early before the curb starts. And in the Merc you can also touch that sausage curb. In some cars it isn't possible, but I think in most of the cars you can do it. On the exit, be careful not to run too wide. Track limit reference is when you touch the sausage curb with the left tires. Yeah, you will just end up touching that sausage curb with your front, and you will end up driving completely straight and also get a track warning, so you just don't want to touch that curb actually. For turn 14 and 15, brake a few meters before the 50-meter board. This is a heavy braking zone, and trail brake a lot into that corner, but avoid applying too much brake pressure on that curb, otherwise the car will hit the curb with the front or with the floor. So yeah, you just don't want to have that. Downshift into second gear, cut a lot of the first curb. Try to stay with the left tire on the Italian flag curb, or how you want to call it. Otherwise you will get a track warning there. Transition the car to the left curb and cut a lot again, and try to also stay with the right side of the car on the Italian flag. And always on turn 15 apply a bit of throttle, so the rear won't bounce around as much, because you will get when you apply throttle a bit weight on the rear. So yeah, the suspension will be compressed a bit and it doesn't bounce around like crazy in some cars. And then apply carefully throttle and avoid touching those sausage curbs again, as they will just ruin your exit and also get you a track warning. For turn 17, brake after the 100-meter board, or also a good reference is the dark spot on the track. Go with the car onto the right curb. Get into second gear and trail brake a lot into that corner. Then go over the curb and also go over the Italian flag to cut as much as possible in this corner. Then slowly applying throttle, as you don't want to touch that gravel and just run on the outside curb. But really be careful, because it happened to me really often that I touched the gravel and I ruined my lap time. So please be careful there. Then coming to the last corner, try to stay on the right curb as long as possible and turn in when the curb actually ends. And just use like 1 to 8% of brake pressure. And yeah, just trail brake into the corner and slow the car a bit down. Avoid touching the sausage curbs on the inside and fully go on that curb. You can barely touch those sausage curbs, but really, like, it's better not to touch them and just stay as close to them as possible. On the exit, slowly apply throttle again, as there's gravel on the outside, so you don't want to go onto that gravel. And yeah, you just want to have a clean exit as well. It also happened to me really often that I got too early on the throttle and got oversteer and stuff. So clean exit and don't run too wide into that gravel. So that's like the key things to have for the straight. So this was a track guide around Imola in the Mercedes-AMG GT3 for the LFM week. I hope this track guide helped you a lot, so please leave a like and subscribe. Also, you can try out the setups if you want. Personally, it really helps. So try it out if you want to. And yeah, so see you next week and have a lot of fun in the LFM week. Bye bye.